Hey, it's the old man here, and Happy New Year. Got sunshine, got the good furniture out, got my lady friend here. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You're so good. You're so patient. Yeah, so it's story time. And, you know, cool. No sense in squinting. Um, yeah, I was thinking about what's going on in the world today, and I thought, especially this week, that a story about protesting in 1967 would be appropriate. I was 13, and and we would take the bus from SeaTac down to Seattle, First and Pike, for 25 cents. And looking back, that might be worth $2.50 now, because a pack of smokes was a quarter back then. So we'd go down there, and first place we'd go is to the bakery, and I think that bakery's still there. See what's on. The kids would always be hanging in the corner. Wintertime, it was warm in there, and the guy didn't care, I guess. And, hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, they're having a sit-in. The word protest wasn't even a word then. And we're like, what do you mean? They said, well, there's a bunch of hippies down at the courthouse. They're having a sit-in. Let's go check it out. So we go down there. And we didn't get close because we knew the cops were going to come, and they knew they were going to be in trouble because that was... They said that our generation was the first generation to openly contest authority, and they did. So we're watching from a distance, and it's a not rainy, but a cold, wet day like it normally is. That's why I did this today. The sun's out, it's great. And we're just watching because we knew the cops were going to come and knew they were going to be in trouble. And the police did show up. And they talked for a little bit, and there, like I said, there might have been 20 of them sitting on the steps of the courthouse. And like I said, they didn't call it protesting. It was a sit-in or a be-in. And I don't remember when the term protest even came out. So anyway, the officers came up, talked for a little bit, and they left. And we're like, that's weird. You know, we figured they'd grab them by the scruff of the neck and haul them to the paddy wagon, which you don't see anymore. But they didn't. So we're kind of standing around scratching our heads thinking, well, this is kind of different. Well, within about 5 minutes comes a fire truck. And they hosed them down. They didn't spray them directly, but they soaked them all. And that pretty much put the kibosh on the sit-in because it's a rainy, cold day, or cold day anyway. Now they're soaking wet. And they left me mad, and they probably learned from that and said, well, next time we'll wear raincoats and da-da-da-da-da. And it was an angry generation. I was mad. I was mad at authority from my parents to the police to the president. And yeah, I had a impeach Nixon bumper sticker on my car when I was probably 20. And you know, I didn't even know what he did. I didn't know what the impeachment was about. All I knew was I was mad and he was authority and I wanted him out. Smart move. It's just kids, unexperienced. We didn't know. I didn't know. I just was mad at the world, and they say the president is a good target. Little airplane, it's not too bad, is it? So anyway, from that point on, years go by. Now protesting becomes more... Oh, one last thing though, about that day. There was nothing in the paper about it. There was nothing on the news. They pretty much just didn't want to even admit that happened. So the mainstream media of the day never even covered it. Nowadays, they'd have a fit. I mean, protesting now is as God-given right as walking down the street. And then it's like, from what I've seen, It doesn't make sense. I mean, you know, oh, they're going to protest. Well, we better board up the windows. We better clear the streets. We better let them have room to, you know, do their stuff. And yeah, when we were kids, if they knew there was a protest coming, they manned up and they were taking care of business. They had the paddy wagon and they lock them up for whatever reason now. Well, I know what the reason is now. Those protesters are now politicians, or else their kids are politicians, and they're like, well, we got to be able to do that. That's our freedom to protest. And now, you know, break windows and do all this other stuff is nuts. I don't approve of it at all. So anyway, years go by, and I'm maybe 17, 18, and there's a protest in Seattle. And we go down there, and I didn't even remember what it was, probably the war in Vietnam. But I wanted to be there, and there was a big crowd. Yeah, who knows how many. There might have been a couple hundred people. And it felt good, kind of, to be with the crowd, and it's, you know, peace and love. We're all just going to assemble together. And all of a sudden, up in the front, we're kind of off to the side and the back, and there's a scuffle, and there's the smell of tear gas. And we ran. There was an alley close by. We hit that alley and we ran for 2 blocks before we even stopped, and we could turn around and look and see stuff going on. And I told my kids and my grandkids and their friends, I said, you know, if you ever do go to a protest, have your foot close to the door, because it can go from kumbaya to F the police just like that. And that's what happened. There was just a group of people that were protesting, and there was a lot of anger. You know, I don't know. I didn't know what the war in Vietnam was about. I didn't know nothing other than the fact that it seemed like the thing to do was to be mad about it. So yeah, and then a friend of my daughter's had gone to a protest, and she didn't get maced, but she got enough to where she could smell it. And she said she was thinking about what I said as to how fast it can go from peace and love to anger and rage in about 15 seconds. And mob mentality, whatever you want to call it, it happens. So if you're thinking about protesting, be careful. And we're in a day that it's way different than when this old man was a kid. Hi, lady. Come here. You okay? Are you? Are you happy I'm out here? Yeah, she's doing good. 22 years old at least. Yeah, come here. And she doesn't want to be in my lap, you know. Come springtime, she'll be right there trying to get a hold of the dad's attention. So anyway, enjoy the sunshine wherever you're at. Stay safe. Yeah, what a year, what a thing we're living through. Angry country, pandemic going on. I don't know. Don't lose the faith. And I'll be back. I want to talk about my train trip. Seasonal depression. It happens. Gray days, day after day after day gets to you. I started taking vitamin D. Somebody told me a year ago, don't take vitamin D, it'll help. And I took one, and it's like, didn't do nothing. So time goes by. This winter, I heard we can take 4 of them. Those little tiny ones about the size of a BB. Or even 5 of them. And I took 4 of them, and do feel better. It doesn't cure it, but it certainly does make me feel better. Yeah, last winter, it's just easy to go into a funk and stay there, and I don't like that, but I'm working on it. Yeah, like I say, I want to talk about that train trip and some other stories, but yeah, that story about the protesters, the sit-in. Yeah, like I said, they didn't spray the nozzle, you know, they didn't hit him hard with the water, but they soaked him all good, and they were a very despondent crowd when they all shuffled off. And it, you know, I've known people that did protesting in Seattle when they took the freeway, and it's like I say, maybe mob mentality is kind of a tough word, but it is something to that, because it was like they were apparently near the freeway, and somebody yelled, "Let's take the freeway," and they all marched out on the freeway and stopped traffic, and it was a big deal. And again, I don't remember it being in the paper even. They just didn't want to even acknowledge that that stuff was happening. Where today, yeah, I've seen things where they're talking about protesters and there's like 20 people there, and it's like, boy, that's national news. Yeah, you better get that on there. Anyway, you guys take care, stay safe. The old man will be back, and boy, this sun does feel good. Even though I got long johns on and Eddie Bauer's vest and my hoodie and all that stuff. Yeah, it's good to be alive in the Vertical Club. You guys take care. And as always, thank you for watching to the very end, even though it was only 11 minutes. Take care.